Good numbing, or good afternoon, or good evening, or good night if it's like the last thing you're about to watch. It's time for an update video, and a proper one, not a quick throw together, here we go sort of thing. The schedule will still be in the community post, this is just talking about general other things. Firstly, I hope you've all had a great start to 2023. Despite the weather we've had here in the UK, it's been pretty good, pretty enjoyable. I'm getting this new microphone that you're hearing. I'm still figuring out the smaller details of like volume distribution and whatnot to not make it too echoey or too loud or anything like that, but give me time, I'll figure it out. In general, it's been super fun, but I want this year to mean more for my streaming and just in general a lot of other things. So I'm going to be pushing more towards, you know, my advertising my Twitter, advertising my Patreon, trying to get more of a link, try and reach out and see if there are other streamers that want to do collabs, just general little things to try and get my name more out there. However, that challenge shouldn't, well, no, it was going to be 90% on me, but I should offer a little out for you. So I've come up with some incentives, some subscription goals. If my subscription counter reaches these points, I will stream these games. And that's kind of the main meat of what I'm going to talk about. This will be in every video moving forward that I will mention, like streams and whatnot. So let's jump straight in to our sub goals. Starting off with 450, since that's the nearest like whole number we're at, and I think would be a good starting point. At 450 subs, I will start playing Hades on stream. You know Hades, the roguelike godlike, or whatever they call it, that's seen a lot of attention. It looks pretty fun, and a lot of people have been asking me to play it. Well, there's your first incentive. At 500, I will start my Sonic Frontiers level 1 run. Another thing I've been wanting to do for a while that I think will be fun to do. That's the last sub goal, which is kind of something I want to do for a while. Don't get me wrong, there are other sub goals later down the list I want to do, but yeah, we'll see. At 600, I will suffer Among Us on stream for several hours. I was gonna kind of half debate doing it, but I really wasn't in the mood before we broke up for Christmas, but now it's making official. If we hit 600 subscribers, I will try and get a band of people together, whether it's people I know in real life or some of you guys, and we will play a whole stream of Among Us. At 700, I will do a full playthrough of Cuphead. Don't... Oh dear. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not the best at platformers. Like, as I said, I'm good enough at platformers. I know what I need to do. But platformers of that level of precision, no. We'll be in for hell. I'll be at it for ages. At 800, I will start Hollow Knight. A game that has been highly recommended and highly pushed as well for me as something else to play. I will entertain it and give it a fair shot at 800 subscribers. In fact, I will do a full playthrough of it. At 900 subscribers, I will start Trails of Cold Steel. A game that has been heavily recommended to me as of late, especially with Trails of Cold Steel 4 still being relatively recent, that I've heard nothing but good things about. That's probably like another goal that I actually kind of want you guys to hit. Because that one I actually want to play. At exactly 1000, I will celebrate by daring to do a stream of Apex Legends. If you've watched my Modern Warfare streams, I don't mind older games, but I'm not the biggest multiplayer shooter guy. I don't really play multiplayer shooters. Apex is made by the same team that did the classic Modern Warfares, and that's the only reason I'm prepared to give it a shot. But it's another game that not just some of you guys, but friends have constantly said, hey, hop on, and I've always said no. I will change that only if I hit 1000 subscribers. After we hit 1k, however, I'm broadening out the gap between them, because when we hit 1k, it will start growing a little bit quicker anyway, because I'll be able to advertise and promote my videos more easily. I'm not saying it will grow exponentially, it's just still, you get the point. At 1,200 subscribers, I will do a full playthrough of Mary Skelter Finale. That's full playthrough. I will suffer the entire grind. I will go through every single dungeon. I'll try and platinum it. I'll go through all 3 of the major endings. I will go through the entirety of Mary Skelter Finale. At 1400, I will suffer the worst Castlevania in the series, Castlevania Bloodlines. Or to be more accurate, the worst of the classic era, because you look at all the eras, it's a bit more... that's a bit of a hot take, probably, but I genuinely fucking hate Castlevania Bloodlines. I think it's god-awful. But I will suffer a stream of it if we get the 1400. At 1600, I will suffer Dark Souls 1. You noticing I'm using the word suffer a lot in all this? Don't worry, we're not done. I will go through the entirety of Dark Souls 1, including its DLC. I'll do a full playthrough, how many streams it takes, we'll figure it out. But at 1600, not 16,000, Jesus. I will cover the whole of Dark Souls 1. At 1800, I will go through what I feel is the worst Final Fantasy. The one that up until this point, I had made every intention of planning in like future streams to completely avoid. I will go through Final Fantasy 2. I will do that all on stream. And at 2000, my last current sub goal until we actually get close or on it, for 2,000 subscribers, I will go through Persona 4 Golden in its entirety. It will be a astronomical endeavor because it might be an 80 to 90 hour game, but it would be way longer for me because of what I'd be doing in between the streams to, you know, get to cover everything, and you get the gist. That's the list. So to go through that again, 450, Hades, 500, Sonic Frontiers Level 1, 600, Among Us, 700, Cuphead, 800, Hollow Knight, 900, Trails of Cold Steel, 1000, Apex Legends, 1200, Mary Skelter Finale, 1400, Castlevania Bloodlines, 1600, Dark Souls 1, 1800, Final Fantasy 2, and 2000, Persona 4 Golden. If there's any game in that list you'd like to see me go through, you know what to do, my friends. Like I said, I'll be doing my part as well, because obviously I want my channel to grow. But if you want these things to covered, please spread the word. I'm not going to put it all on you, because I'm not that kind of person. It's like, yeah, it's all on you. No, that's not right. I don't agree with that. I'm just being cheeky. Ultimately, I'm just being like, hey, if you want this sooner, you know. But you get the point. Additionally, as per always, I have to bring mention to my Twitter, where you can find any updates. And for now, my DMs are always open, so if you want to message me or discuss things, or if you want to tweet things and tag me and whatnot, you're always welcome to. I completely accept it. As long as you're not a dick, I'll always accept it. However, I do also need to bring mention to my Patreon, and I think it would be wise, this being in the start of the year update, to actually go into detail about what each of the tiers are and what you can get. There's 4 tiers currently: the tip, the super tip, the vocal credit, and the madness. The tip jar is simply £3 a month, which is around $5 I believe. I don't know the convergence rates offhand, I'm just guessing, so forgive me if I'm wrong. It's literally what it says, it's a tip. In the same vein, the second one, which ups it to £10, is also just a tip, just a bigger one. If you want to be more supportive, you can. It's just a nature of the beast. I am open to suggestions to alter and rework these. I don't have a Discord channel, nor do I really plan on starting one anytime soon, because it would be extremely quiet. So that's not an option before any of you suggest that, just throwing that out there. The third is vocal credit. It's at the end of live streams and at the end of any updates. I will go out of my way to credit you and thank you personally. No matter how big it gets and how many of you there are, I will make the time to personally thank every single one of you, to have you be more involved and, you know, in general be more like giving as I can. For the madness is one that's kind of a bit bonkers, and let me explain the details for this, because I kind of don't expect any of you to go for it unless it's like outside of specific requirements or specific things, but stick with me here. For the madness is £50 or around 60 to 65 US dollars. If you're sitting there going, wow, that's loads, hear me out. Other than the fact that it'd be a gargantuan thank you and I would literally like lick your boot, it's so I will play a game of your choice under some conditions. Firstly, it has to be on the PS4 or 5 store. If it's not on the store, I can only stream off my PS5 currently, so if it's not on the store, I can't cover it. Secondly, the game has to allow recording. If the game has a recording block of any kind, if it's like just the credits or just an ending scene, whatever, but if it's like major chunks of the game, no, I can't. And thirdly, and it will sound simple, but I still have to say it, if it's going to be something that could get my YouTube channel banned or in trouble for explicit content, it's not happening. So if you're asking for gun gals, you're not going to get it. Like I said, I know some of these are pricey, and I know some of them are all over the place. I am open to suggestions, including altering the prices of them. I just want to have that kind of communication with you guys, if possible, to try and figure out what would be best for you, assuming you even want to do this in the first place. I said, it's there more to be tips, not lock-ons. Like, I don't want this to be like the only source of income and like the you must please for me blah 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 and any of that stuff. I'm not about that. It's ultimately there to be tips, to be pieces, or to just be support. So if you don't want to do it, I wouldn't want to make you, you know. I wouldn't want to be like, oh, you must meh, meh, meh. If you don't want to do it, I'd rather you not. If you can't afford it, I'd rather you not, you know, things like that. But I wanted to kind of explain it since it's, you know, start of the year update. I thought it was a good a time of any to go into more of these details. But that's kind of all I have to say. I really hope you all have had a great time off over the new year and have enjoyed whatever it is you've got to do, whether it be with family or friends or on your own. None of that matters as long as you've had a good time. I do hope this year coming forward will be more of what we've had, just hopefully with a bit more success, you know? Because I genuinely had an absolute blast throughout 2022. If you've watched any of those streams, you'll know 9 times out of 10 I'm loving life. They're phenomenal and I couldn't ask any more. It's so, it's so beautiful, it's so nice. If you can't tell, none of this is scripted, which is why I'm kind of stumbling on my words, but stick with me. It's so fun and just everything is what I could always dreamed of, and to be able to potentially continue that in the future and maybe even earn some pennies out of it, I couldn't ask for any more, you know? It would be gorgeous and glorious to be able to do that, sort of like the girls we're currently looking at are so gorgeous and glorious. I digress. As always, thank you so much for any of your support, whether you're just a viewer, whether you're a subscriber, whether you're not, if you're just passing by, whether you just always leave a like, whether you want to leave a comment, whatever. If you just merely exist and you're on this channel, I appreciate you, and I want you to know that. I'll see you guys in the next stream, which will be on Sunday. Until then, you guys take care now. Peace.